Hydrogen Water Buying Guide for Glaucoma-Focused Consumers. Science First Approach. Glaucoma is a leading cause of irreversible blindness, marked by damage to the optic nerve and loss of retinal ganglion cells, RGCs. In addition to high eye pressure, growing evidence implicates oxidative stress and inflammation in glaucoma's progression. Oxidative stress means harmful free radicals and related molecules build up and damage cells. This has led some to wonder whether molecular hydrogen, H2, a potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory agent, could help protect the eyes. This guide separates fact from hype, links hydrogen science to glaucoma, and shows how to choose a safe, quality hydrogen water product. Oxidative stress, inflammation, and glaucoma. Many experts agree that chronic glaucoma is not just about pressure. Cell damage from oxidative stress plays a major role. For example, a 2016 PLOS ONE review found that glaucoma patients have much higher oxidative biomarkers in blood and eye fluid, concluding that glaucoma is a multifactorial disease among which oxidative stress may play a major pathophysiological role. In the eye, excess reactive oxygen species free radicals can damage the trabecular meshwork, the fluid drainage pathway, raising pressure, and can directly injure RGCs. Inflammation, increased immune signals like IL-1 TNF-α, etc., often accompanies this oxidative damage. In short, glaucoma involves a dangerous imbalance: too many oxidants and too little of the body's own antioxidants. Molecular hydrogen. How it works. Molecular hydrogen, H2, is a colorless, tasteless gas that can dissolve in water, hydrogen water. It has some unique properties as an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory agent. Studies note that H2 selectively neutralizes the most aggressive free radicals, like hydroxyl radicals, while sparing other physiological processes. Importantly, H2 is very small and can penetrate biological barriers, such as the blood-eye barrier, to reach tissues. It is also remarkably safe. One review points out that a key advantage of H2 is its non-toxicity, even when applied at high concentrations. For perspective, H2 has been inhaled by divers in high concentrations without harm. In practical terms, hydrogen can be delivered by inhaling H2 gas, or more conveniently, by drinking hydrogen-rich water. In hydrogen water, H2 molecules dissolve into the liquid. Typical concentrations in studies range from about 0.5 to 1.6 milligrams of H2 per liter, about 0.5 to 1.6 parts per million ppm, with 1.6 milligrams per meter considered the normal saturation level at sea level pressure. Some manufacturers claim higher supersaturated levels by special methods, see below. Once ingested, molecular hydrogen enters the bloodstream and tissues. Research in other fields suggests H2 can reduce oxidative damage, damp inflammatory signaling, and even prevent cell death, apoptosis in stressed cells. These effects have been linked to improvements in various animal models of disease and even early clinical trials, for example, some studies in metabolic and vascular conditions. The idea is that by quenching harmful ROS and inflammatory mediators, H2 provides a protective effect at the cellular level. Evidence of benefit: what we know and don't. Laboratory and animal studies. Studies in cells and animals provide the most evidence so far. In general, hydrogen has been shown to help in many ocular injury models. For example, a recent review notes that H2 has protective effects in cataracts, dry eye, diabetic retinopathy, and other eye conditions. Notably, glaucoma models have shown promising results. In rats with retinal ischemia reperfusion injury, a model simulating glaucoma-related stress, researchers found that injecting hydrogen-rich saline or having rats inhale H2 gas significantly reduced the death of retinal ganglion cells. The hydrogen treatment lowered DNA damage markers and inflammatory signals, IL-1 beta, TNF-α, and oxidative byproducts in the retina. In plain language, H2 helped rescue nerve cells that would otherwise die after a glaucoma-like injury. These findings suggest hydrogen's antioxidant and anti-inflammatory actions can slow optic nerve damage in experimental glaucoma. However, animal success doesn't guarantee human benefit. Conditions in a lab rat, young, controlled injury, are very different from chronic glaucoma in people, often years-long disease with multiple factors. Importantly, no high-quality clinical trial to date has proven that drinking hydrogen water improves glaucoma outcomes or vision in patients. The only human study we found on hydrogen water and eyes involved healthy volunteers, no glaucoma, and focused on eye pressure. In this small crossover trial, healthy subjects drank 1.26 liters of hydrogen-rich water in 15 minutes. Both regular and hydrogen water raised intraocular pressure, transiently, a known water drinking test effect. But 58% of people showed a significant pressure spike after the hydrogen water versus only 25% after plain water. In other words, gulping a lot of water quickly raises eye pressure, and hydrogen water did so slightly more often. The authors cautioned that glaucoma or ocular hypertension patients should be mindful of this effect. It does not mean dilute hydrogen water is harmful, but it underscores that huge intakes are questionable. Bottom line, the scientific theory that H2's antioxidant anti-inflammatory action could benefit glaucoma is plausible and supported by animal studies. But in practice, we lack proof in humans. No trials have shown that hydrogen water preserves vision or lowers glaucoma progression. Any claimed benefit remains unconfirmed. Until proven, hydrogen water should be seen as a possible supplement, not a replacement for proven treatments, like pressure-lowering drops or surgery. Potential benefits versus unknowns. On the plus side, drinking hydrogen water is generally very safe, aside from any effects of drinking large volumes too fast. As noted, H2 has no known toxicity, even at high doses. In animal studies, it usually shows antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects, implying it could reduce some of the cellular stress in glaucoma. Hydrogen is tasteless and odorless, so the water just seems like extra clean water to the taste. There are anecdotes of various benefit: better energy, less muscle soreness, but these are not well studied. On the other hand, the unknowns are significant. Key questions include: how much hydrogen actually enters and stays in our tissues from water? What daily dosage is needed? Does it actually reach the optic nerve in humans? Could there be long-term side effects we don't know about? For glaucoma specifically, what happens over months or years of use is unknown. The small human data we have suggests that, beyond the water volume issue, no other obvious harm is reported, but that's mostly because nobody has studied it in glaucoma patients. It's also worth noting that some claims out there are overblown. No evidence so far indicates hydrogen water will lower eye pressure or cure glaucoma. Accessories marketed with impossible promises, like instantaneous vision improvements, are likely false. Patients should remain skeptical of any bold health claims without trials to back them. Buying guide: what to look for. Choosing a hydrogen water device requires care. This checklist highlights key factors. Verified H2 concentration. The single most important spec is how much hydrogen the device actually dissolves into the water. Look for products that state a concentration in milligrams per liter, emigrams per illa, or parts per million ppm, and prefer those with independent lab verification. Some measures list parts per billion, ppb. Remember that 1 ppm equals 1,000 ppb. As a rule of thumb, high-quality hydrogen water is in the range of 0.5 to 1.6 milligrams per liter, about 0.5 to 1.6 ppm. For example, one study prepared a bottle of water at 7 ppm H2, 3.5 milligrams in 500 milliliters, before giving it to volunteers. Note, 7 ppm is unusually high and typically requires special saturation. Most small home devices produce closer to 1 to 3 ppm. In general, more is better provided it's measured accurately. Beware of baseless marketing numbers. Some bottles claim very high ppm without proof. Only trust figures backed by lab tests or published data. Stable performance. Hydrogen gas escapes water quickly, so a good device will produce H2 on demand or in a well-sealed bottle. Devices with built-in timers or storage, like cans or pouches, often disclose how long the water stays rich. Checking user reviews or test reports can reveal if a product loses hydrogen fast or underperforms. Technology and materials. Most safe modern devices use proton exchange membrane, PEM, electrolysis. This technology separates the electrodes with a membrane, preventing contaminants and heavy metals from leaching into the water. In contrast, some cheap units rely on old superalkaline plates that can produce chlorine or metal byproducts. One industry advisory specifically warns that imitation bottles lacking PM can generate harmful substances like chlorine, ozone, or metal hydroxides. Thus, look for terms like PEM or SPE electrolyte in the specs. Also confirm the bottle is made of food-grade non-toxic materials, e.g. 316 stainless steel electrodes, BPA-free link plastics. Certifications and safety. Check for general certifications such as CE, Europe, UL-ETL, Electrical Safety, RoHS, No Hazardous Substances, ISO 13485, Medical Device Quality Management, etc. There's no single hydrogen water certification, but these marks indicate the manufacturer meets basic safety and quality standards. Some brands also tout FDA-registered or NSF-certified components. These can add confidence, but verify what exactly is certified, e.g. the charger, battery, or water contact parts. Good quality control, QC, often means the company tests each unit. Ask if there are batch numbers or test reports available. Independent testing or reviews. See if any third-party labs or credible blogs have tested the device. For instance, some health researchers have measured H2 output in different bottles. You can often find such reports online. Ideally, the manufacturer should provide a water analysis protocol or data. If they only cite vague ORP meters instead of actual H2 meters, be wary. On the flip side, consumer reviews can help identify consistent failures like broken batteries or leaks. Reputation and warranty. A longer warranty and responsive customer service can signal a commitment to quality. Some well-known brands in the field, research-friendly or reliability-focused, provide long warranties or even guarantee H2 output. Unbranded, no-name units at very low prices often lack support if something goes wrong. Potential pitfalls and red flags. Too cheap to be real. Extremely low-priced hydrogen water devices, under $50, often skimp on materials or use poor tech. Industry experts warn that imitation bottles at bargain prices frequently fail to generate meaningful H2 and may introduce contaminants. If a deal sounds too good and the seller makes grandiose health claims with no evidence, proceed cautiously. Underperformance. After purchase, you can test performance roughly by using a dissolved hydrogen test kit or asking the manufacturer for third-party readings. Some professionals use gas chromatography or special H2 probes. If the actual H2 level is far below the stated spec, the bottle isn't doing its job. Health claims without data. Be skeptical of any bottle marketed with specific medical claims, e.g., cures arthritis or prevents glaucoma. No device can legally or ethically claim to treat a disease without approval. Stick to evidence-based benefits, like general antioxidant support, and remember that validated science requires more than marketing copy. pH and alkalinity. Hydrogen water devices sometimes mention alkaline pH due to accompanying electrolysis effects. However, normal drinking water pH has no proven impact on glaucoma or most health conditions. The body tightly regulates its blood pH, so slightly alkaline drinking water, pH 8, offers no special eye benefit. In short, focus on H2 concentration, not pH level. Using hydrogen water, dosage and safety. No official dose of hydrogen water exists, but human studies give some context. Clinical trials often give subjects 500 milliliters to 1 ml per day of hydrogen-rich water. For example, one study had volunteers drink 500 milliliters containing 3.5 ml H2s at 7 ppm in one sitting. Another long-term trial provided about 0.5 to 1.0 liter per day of 1 milligrams per meter H2 water and noted health effects in metabolic markers. These served as guides, but normal people can start with small amounts. A reasonable approach might be to replace 1 or 2 glasses, 250 to 500 milliliters of your daily water with hydrogen water, rather than all of it. Drink hydrogen water just like regular water. It's mostly just enhanced water. However, keep these points in mind. Don't chug large volumes at once. The eye pressure study above reminds us that gulping liters quickly can spike IOP. Sipping hydration steadily is always better for glaucoma patients. If you take medications, especially glaucoma drops, drink hydrogen water separately, don't mix with meds, and leave a few minutes gap. Hydrogen water is inert, but as a precaution, avoid interfering with pill coating or drop absorption. Storage and freshness. After the device generates H2 water, use it promptly. Left open to air, dissolved hydrogen will escape. Half-life is on the order of an hour. Keep the bottle sealed and drink within 15 to 30 minutes if possible to get the full H2 dose. pH and other additives. If your hydrogen device has settings for alkaline water or ozone, you can probably ignore or disable those. We focus on hydrogen. Other features are unproven or unnecessary for eye health. There's no harm in drinking moderate amounts of hydrogen-infused water. Aside from the caution above, studies have found no adverse effects, even with relatively high intake. In most cases, it simply contributes to your fluid intake. Continue to meet your overall hydration needs, generally about 2 to 3 liters for adults, depending on body size, whether from hydrogen water or plain water. The optimal extra from H2 is not defined, so treat it as a supplement to a healthy lifestyle. Is hydrogen water a fad or here to stay? Hydrogen water is currently a well-publicized trend, with a growing market of bottles, tablets, and even canned beverages. The wellness and sports communities have embraced it faster than mainstream medicine. Global market analyses project continued growth in the near term. However, experts caution that strong hype should be matched by solid science. A 2024 systematic review put it bluntly. Although the results of many studies on hydrogen have been encouraging, it should be noted that many were conducted in animals and some used small sample sizes. In other words, the research is early stage. For glaucoma patients, this means extra caution. If future large-scale human trials show clear benefits, hydrogen might secure a place as a supplementary therapy. If not, it may remain a niche supplement. At present, there is at least a scientific rationale, oxidative, inflammatory mitigation, and some preliminary data to suggest hydrogen is safe, so trying it in moderation is reasonable. Just don't expect overnight miracles, and always prioritize your doctor's treatment plan above trendy alternatives. Quick checklist for hydrogen water bottles. H2 concentration. Look for devices that reliably produce at least 0.5 to 1.0 milligrams per liter of dissolved H2, 500 to 1000 ppb. Confirm with third-party lab data if possible, gas chromatography or specialized H2 meters. Proton exchange membrane, SPE technology. Prefer bottles using BEM electrolysis, which prevents contaminants. Avoid unknown alkaline ionizer methods. PM is considered the gold standard. Materials and construction. Food-grade 316 stainless steel electrodes, BPA-free plastics or glass, and a solid seal. Avoid cheap metal alloys that can leach. Check for CE, UL, ETL, RoHS, or NSF certifications. At least they show basic safety and material standards. Safety certifications, UL or ETL listing for electronics, CE mark, ISO 3485-9001 for manufacturing are pluses. These don't test hydrogen output, but ensure the device is built safely. Independent testing and transparency. Opt for brands that publish lab results or have been reviewed by unbiased sources. If a company's only claim is doctor recommended on a flyer, be skeptical. Real devices often list data from research studies or post-test certificates. Reputation and support. Check user reviews and company history. A longer warranty, 1 to 2 years, and responsive customer service indicate confidence in the product. Avoid science-y claims from obscure sellers with no track record. Price versus quality. Expect reasonable devices to cost at least $100 to $200. Very cheap models, $50, often under-deliver on hydrogen output or durability. Conversely, insanely high prices aren't necessary either. Focus on specs and evidence, not just brand cost. Maintenance. Some bottles need periodic cleaning or electrode replacements. Check that spare parts, filters, electrodes are available and affordable to keep performance reliable. Usage guidelines. Make sure the product comes with clear instructions, e.g., use clean water, wait X minutes, drink fresh, etc. A good manual and safety instructions, including water type restrictions, are a sign of a serious manufacturer. Conclusion. Hydrogen-rich water remains a promising but still uncertain approach. The science suggests that molecular hydrogen has real antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects that could benefit eye health. In glaucoma models, it slowed retinal cell death. However, evidence in humans, particularly glaucoma patients, is lacking. If you decide to try hydrogen water, use it as a supplement to, not a substitute for, proven glaucoma therapies. When shopping for a hydrogen water bottle, emphasize verified hydrogen concentration, safe technology, and product quality. Above all, maintain healthy skepticism, read reviews, demand data, and do not fall for sensational health claims. As with any trend, some of the early buzz may be overdone, but given its benign safety profile, hydrogen water can be explored judiciously. Think of it as part of overall wellness, drinking extra clean water with some proven antioxidant effect rather than as a guaranteed cure. Continued research will clarify its value. For now, a science-based approach and the buying checklist above can help you separate the credible products from the empty promises. All links to sources are available in the text version of this article. You can find the full article at visualfieldtest.com. Thanks for listening. To check your visual field, click the link at the bottom of this article or visit visualfieldtest.com.